So, hey, so what I wanted to talk about today, this morning, I just tried to do a video that was all about dimensions and stuff, and it's hard to have a train of thought about that kind of stuff when you're making breakfast. So, I'm making scrambled eggs. Woo. But what I wanted to basically talk about is my first acid trip. Let's talk about something more fun. Alright, so, basically, if you've taken LSD before, you wouldn't have a bit of a good sense about it. But if you haven't, then I just want to talk a bit about what it does to you, kind of thing. Terence McKenna has recently come to a good hypothesis that LSD and acid and whatnot is actually more of a reality than reality that we perceive as reality right now. So, yeah, I want to touch on that a bit. But basically, when you're on it, you see patterns, you see light in everything. For example, like, what can I give you? Alright, this tissue box, alright? Now, what you would see is these flowers or whatever would be moving and rippling or whatever, but you would also see, in reality, kind of a picture that you're in a stream of light. What would you see if you were in that stream of light? You would see light, but you would see kind of, remember, you're in reality, but remember, reality is light. So if you're in a stream of light that is reality, then you're going to see kind of a fan effect of reality in a way. That fan effect through this color spectrum fans out until kind of it focuses and creates specific colors that you see in the dense materials with very specific separations of that material. For example, you have like a green wall. You have like a black countertop and stuff. It's not just, it doesn't go into the other because it's a set object, it's a set color, as opposed to higher densities where you would have more of a variation in the two objects of color. Going from more of a kind of a rainbow feel to it. So you just look out your window and you'd see more vibrant colors, more of a translucent type of feel. But anyways, that'll persist to one of my points later. So what I saw was on my first and second, actually. Second was more of a profound one because I think that's what I feel completely kind of. I was pondering it for ages, but I came to the conclusion of basically it awoke like I awakened to a better extent than what I had previously before the experience. But I'll get into that into another video. But basically, I just want to talk about my first one and how. Look up fractals if you don't know what they are. It's just a repetition of the Fibonacci sequence. It's just a chaos of mathematics, basically, which basically dictates that, well, reality and everything is just a fractal, a repetition of infinite realities on top of one another that just go out on for infinity. It's crazy. Hey, much better than what we've been taught in school. But also, so basically, I saw fractals around my fingertips. This was about 2 hours in after turning into a grape because I was wearing these big purple hippie pants, and I put them over my shoulders. And then me and my two housemates and my girlfriend at the time, my girlfriend was they were chucking grapes at me because I was the grape. But that's a long story. And I put a kaleidoscope on the TV, and it was sick. But that isn't really what I wanted to talk about today, because about all the fart ass around just kind of being lazy. But it was the first time that I kind of realized what kind of tripping was and what kind of seeing a trip was. It's not because, remember, if you haven't taken any trips before, then how can you know what it is? Because what can you compare it to? You can compare it to weed, or you can compare it to alcohol, really, or any other part of harder substances. But let's just focus on the weed and alcohol for now. Alcohol being more of a a dumbing down and disfocusing of the mind and actions and body and whatnot, being more kind of, slurred and sloppy and whatnot, and weed becoming more of a, depends what you take, but more of a either focus, creational activity, or more of a kind of lazy, wanting to eat everything in the house kind of thing. His eggs are looking good. But so yeah, but tripping is completely different. Besides, you're seeing stuff in front of you, you're completely sober, not like alcohol. You're completely sober and in kind of the, how do I put this? Just in the moment more, in the present more. You're seeing everything normally, but it's not normal. Obviously, it's kind of moving and like breathing almost, like reality does do in a sense that we just can't see it. Reality is alive. It is alive because we are alive. We are consciousness. Reality is consciousness. Everything is consciousness. The universe, multiverse, everything, even down to the smallest insignificant thing, which isn't insignificant, it's as significant as the biggest of things, because it all plays a part in building everything. So, everything's connected, so it's great. But you can't see that because we have just a narrowed vision of what is at the moment. It's starting to change soon. Like, if you talked about some of the topics that we're talking about now, say 20 years ago or 30, 40 years ago, no one would listen and everyone would think we're fucking batshit crazy. But now, science is catching up with us with the subatomic universe. All the conspiracy theorists that have been saying this shit for ages and ages and ages are starting to be proven right by science. So it's great. So basically, what I discovered is that, just going back to my previous point, that reality is light. If you're able to see that light through an external thing such as dimethyltryptamine or any of those others, you can stimulate what we have indoctrinated ourselves to think, which is everything we see, which isn't all that is. It's just what all that is to us. For example, it's all a perception. If you perceive a stick in the middle of the road as a snake on a dark and rainy night or whatever, you're driving down a road and you see a snake, which you think is a snake. Then you go up closer to it, shine a light on it, and then it's a stick. It's a stick, but your perception of that was much more scarier than what it actually was. Not scarier, just different. But it depends whether you're afraid of snakes or not. That's exactly what this is. Which sucks. Our perception of reality is completely wrong because we've been indoctrinated for thousands of years to think this way, but I won't get into that today. But basically, back to the fractals, my girlfriend and I was, because I didn't really know what to see, but then you can see everything, but if you're not looking at everything, then you won't necessarily see anything, if that makes sense. For example, if you need to kind of just sit back and just watch things move when you're on acid or LSD. Watch it move, and it will seem right, but it won't seem right because it'll be just kind of moving slightly. Or a good way to start is do this with your hand, and you'll see a trail with your hand, and you'll be like, "Whoa, that's weird. That's obviously not happened before," kind of thing. So yeah, we were laying down, and I was watching my hand, and I was just kind of going like this. And I just saw kind of rainbow fractals around my fingertips, and it was fucking awesome. Kind of what I'd been seeing on the kaleidoscope on the TV, because it had portions where it was kind of fractals coming at you, kind of type thing. But so I noticed this on my hand, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that's awesome!" But after the trip finished and whatever, like 6 hours had passed or whatnot, we all decided to go for a stroll along the waterfront. Near our house on a path. It was nighttime. It was a full moon, I think, and I think we have a photo of it somewhere. But what did I see? I was gobsmacked and have not seen it since or prior to that moment. I saw spreading out from the moon fractals of clouds, which, try imagine that for a second. Each cloud around the moon was a copy of the cloud in correspondence with kind of going out in correspondences, I guess, all across the sky. It was awesome. It was kind of more proof that, because with all of this spiritual stuff, with kind of acknowledging reality for what it was, changing our whole perception of the way we've been thinking forever, is hard because we don't have any proof. We can't see it. We can't see it unless we're looking for it. Unless we're thinking something, affirming something, hence affirmations occur, and then it happens in our reality. Or if we ask a question, hold it deep to our heart or soul, and then reality around us answers that. So we live the answer to our question. Sounds simple enough, but we need more proof than that because we're humans and we're just silly little humans. So we need more proof, and that to me was a great piece of proof, a great piece of evidence that further proved that the mind, spirit, and soul is, and body, or whatever, the triad, forad, is so powerful that it can do that. I guess I don't know how it like happened, but it happened, and it was exactly what I saw around my fingertips. So that was amazing. It's amazingly spiritual. And my second trip was even more spiritual, which I want to talk about in the second video. So yeah, just I don't know, just watch my videos. All right, cheers for watching, guys, and don't stop dreaming.